On the Road with Kelly and Bob is brought to you by Mueller Metal Roofs and Buildings. Made in America, made to last. Coming up on this episode...
When you work in the corporate world and then something happens to you like what happened to me, it makes you see things a lot differently. And I really saw things a lot differently. I was really feeling like a number.
Hi, we're Kelly
and Bob Phillips, and we're on the perpetual road trip of America's back roads,
where the journey is always the destination. Hi, and thanks for joining us for this edition of On the Road with Kelly and Bob. I'm Kelly Phillips.
And I'm Bob Phillips. A quick history lesson that pertains to the story that's coming up here. Back in 1925, the U.S. government started promoting a special road called Route 66, a mostly unpaved road that ran all the way from Chicago to Los Angeles in an effort to encourage the migration of Americans to the western part of the country, or at least to explore the western part of America.
Keep in mind that automobiles were still fairly new at this point in time, and Henry Ford's Model A was still 2 years away from production. Ford built some 15 million Model Ts, and it was those cars and others like it that took to the highway down Route 66 when the road first opened.
Well, over the years, Route 66 became very well known and very popular, and even an icon of American freedom. Eventually, it was replaced by the interstate highway system, but parts of the road are still active today, and now Route 66 is celebrating its 100th birthday.
That's why for the next few weeks, we'll be bringing you some stories we found along the iconic Route 66, starting with this one in Chicago, Illinois, at a place that has become widely known as Route 66, stop number 1.
My name is Audrey. I'm born and raised in Chicago. I was born at Weiss Hospital, which is on the north side of the city, and I've lived here my whole life. We've never moved outside of the city. So when a person says I'm from Chicago, I really am from Chicago, not from the suburbs of Chicago.
Are you the only one left?
In Chicago?
Really from Chicago?
You know what? I believe so. I believe so. Me and my sister and brother and I believe so. We're the only 3 left. No, but that's true though. People will say I'm from Chicago. And, oh, where do you live? And they'll say in Naperville. I'm like, that's not Chicago. That is not Chicago. If you don't live in the city, that's not Chicago. But yes, born and raised here. 100% true Cubs fan. Sorry, White Sox. Sorry, born on the north side of the city. Thank you.
That's Audrey Colon, the manager of Lou Mitchell's Diner, an iconic restaurant in downtown Chicago that is just down the street from the beginning of Route 66. It's known worldwide as stop number 1.
Lou Mitchell's predates the road that made it famous, opening almost 2 years earlier. But its history is tied to Route 66, like peanut butter is tied to jelly. The two just somehow go together.
Audrey hasn't been here since Lou Mitchell's opened, of course, but these days it would be hard to prove that by the customers because a few folks remember a time before she was here. And to think, she only took the position as a temp job that was supposed to last 6 months.
Okay, so when I officially started working, I always had jobs as a teenager. I did the McDonald's thing and the Dunkin' Donuts thing and the roller skating thing. But when I really started in the restaurant business was 1981. I managed, I waitressed, I did everything.
After lots of experience in the food business, Audrey Colon was approached by an acquaintance who asked for her help.
So he says to me, my wife needs some help. Well, my wife owns Lou Mitchell's, and she really, really needs someone to come help fill in for 6 months while one of her girls was on maternity leave. So I said, only for 6 months, because I'm not going to do this after 6 months. I'm not going back. And I've been here ever since.
Can you tell me real quick what that is up there?
That is a salmon Benedict with hash browns.
It looks amazing.
Yes, it is amazing. We also have eggs Benedict with the ham, and then we also have the Florentine with the spinach.
What do you think the number one seller here is?
Omelets. Everybody loves our omelets. Yes, they love the omelets because it's served in a skillet. It comes with hash brown and toast. And I also love our pancakes, too. We have very good pancakes.
I've heard a lot about your pancakes.
Yeah, very good pancakes. Regular pancakes, blueberry, strawberry, pecan, banana. Very good.
That's the voice of that waitress who was going out on maternity leave when Audrey Cologne agreed to cover for her, but only for 6 months. Audrey tells us that she came here because you were taking a 6-month leave and she was only going to be here for 6 months. Now, how old is your child that you had?
My child is 17 years old, and she's still here.
Why do you think she stayed?
It could be the atmosphere. It could be the restaurant. It could just be everything. It's a combination of everything.
Is this a family in here?
Yes, yes.
Why did you stay after the 6 months?
I was close with everyone. I just enjoyed it. I loved meeting the people. We get a lot of tourists here, people from all over the world. If you come to my house, which you're invited, if you come to my house and you look at my refrigerator, customers have brought me magnets when they've come back from other countries. And I'm like, I don't even know where some of these countries are, but they've brought me magnets from everywhere you could think of.
You've become friends with your customers.
Exactly. We have customers who send me letters, who send Christmas cards, who, we take pictures with all the time. And that's how most of the staff is here. We are known, if you go into our, thing for reviews and stuff, the most friendliest, nice people. We have our days. Don't get me wrong. We have our days.
All do.
Right. But for the most part, that is one of the most important things about this restaurant is the courtesy and the way you're treated here.
When you look around and this place is full, what percentage of the people are probably regulars?
I would say at this point we're at least 60 to 70% still.
Regulars.
Yeah, this gentleman's a regular.
So you know these
His
people.
wife won't feed him, so he eats here.
So these people become family.
Yeah, so he comes in, I don't even ask him what he wants to eat, I already
Because
know.
you already know what he wants.
Yeah, he got eggs over easy with a cup of coffee and some toast.
How long have you been coming in here?
Since I was a child. I think my first diaper change was done downstairs.
Why do you keep coming in here?
The smiley faces of the service.
Lawrence Legas has been coming to Lou Mitchell's since he was born.
The service is good, the food is outstanding, and they're consistent. And additionally, you have tables where you could just sit at tables and you meet people.
And the way we serve it and the way we give it, and we like presenting our food. We get excited about it. We're like, what should I order? Let me surprise you. I tell people that all day long. Let me surprise you.
What's the most favorite thing?
Omelets and pancakes are probably, and French toast. Those are signature items. And then we do a really good lunch. Our chef, who's been here longer than anyone, he makes all that kind of stuff. Our soups, everything, our chili's homemade, everything's just done with a lot of care. We want to make an impact. We don't just want you to come in and have an omelet or pancakes. We want you to say, let's go back there. The service was amazing. The food was good, but the service, was amazing.
On the surface, Lou Mitchell's is a diner in a city with a lot of choices for where you're going to eat. It's famous because it's stop number 1 on the also famous Route 66. And if they wanted to, this Chicago establishment could get by on that and that alone. Serve so-so food in a rush way. The tourists would probably still keep it alive.
But that's never been the goal for this place or for the people who work here. They are the ones that make Lou Mitchell's special, the ones who keep the locals coming back time and time again because they love it. The food is great and the service impeccable.
But they offer one other thing that you don't find that much anymore. A sense of belonging, a feeling that you're much more than a customer, that you truly are wanted and appreciated here. You are family.
Audrey Cologne says that special feeling probably started with Lou Mitchell himself. who often wondered why so many people were crowded into his little diner.
He was very much into the customers. He, I believe, and I never worked for Mr. Mitchell, I wish I would have, he, I believe, is what made this atmosphere the way it is. You know, they said he used to walk around the restaurant and say, doesn't anybody go to work anymore? He would yell it out and stuff like that to the customers and, you know, make a joke kind of out of it or whatever. And people remember that. People that are regulars will come in and say, I remember. They tell us stories. I remember Mr. Mitchell saying, doesn't anybody work in this place? Get up and go to work.
And that atmosphere is something Audrey has worked to keep alive more than 100 years later.
Mitchell, yes, why are you not at work today? Why is everybody out? That's my first question. We'd like to thank you all for coming, though, and spending this Friday with us. As you probably know, Lou Mitchell's, we are currently celebrating our 100th birthday, so we appreciate it. We'd like to thank you all for coming out and spending this time. On behalf of myself and my staff, thank you for all the years. Thank you, everyone.
Bob and I had a great time at Lou Mitchell's talking with Audrey. Of course, the conversation went on for a long time. One of the things that we weren't really aware of is just how physically demanding her job can be. Here's more of our conversation with Audrey.
Well, I haven't done it for years, but it's like riding a bike. You remember that.
And it's only for 6 months.
This is true. I'm like, how hard could it be? I never knew how busy this place was. I mean, I've never been to Lou Mitchell's. I don't remember if I've ever been to Lou Mitchell's, but I know of Lou Mitchell's. So I said, okay. So she called me one day. We were on the phone for over 2 hours. So I'm like, oh my God. She goes, can you come in and we can sit down and talk more? I'm like, what else do we have to talk about? But she's like me. Blah, 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 blah. We didn't stop. So I came in and she just said, okay, you're going to start this day. I said, well, I don't know. She goes, no. Just be here at this time. This is what I want you to wear, and it'll be fine. This is okay. Came in, place was packed all the time. A line out the door every single day. The first day, I come home, my family's sitting in the backyard, and I get out of the car, and I'm like literally on my knees and crawling. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this, you know. And for my other job, I used to travel all over the United States to different offices, and I would train a class, and I would stand there and talk, and it was okay. I was like, oh God, this is gonna kill me. This restaurant's crazy.
There's a physical element to doing this.
Oh my God. Yeah. We laugh. My staff and I, we laugh because we're like, my back hurts, my feet hurt, we're like, oh my God, we get in the car, we look like we're gonna die. And it's just the whole atmosphere. It's just, you know, my family used to say the same thing to me. Is this what you're gonna do the rest of your life? Work in a restaurant? I'm like, who cares? What difference does it make?
I'm having a good time.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
like, why? You were running a company, you were running a division, I'm like, so what? Who cares? I don't want to do that no more.
Big so what?
I mean, until I win the Powerball, this is the way it's going to be, right? That's what I told her. This is the way it's going to be.
But are you rich in another way?
Yeah. So I'm a happy person in general. I always am, no matter what. And I've been through a lot in my life, health-wise, a lot. And this is just my attitude all the time, you know. It is what it is. You make the best of it. So, and that's what I do.
Since you brought it up, what's the secret to happiness as far as you're concerned?
What is the secret to happiness?
Because you've been through a lot, and here you are doing something you said you weren't going to do again, but you're having the time of your life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tired. It's a lot. It's a lot on you and stuff like that. You too, honey. The secret to happiness. Well, I'm going to be real open with you. I'm a breast cancer survivor since I was 28 years old. And I just turned 50 plus 10 this last year. That's what it said on my birthday invitations.
50 plus 10, yeah.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
Why do I have to be sad? My doctors didn't think I was going to make 5 years, you know, let alone here I am. And every time I see my doctors, they're like really surprised of how far we've come. And why? Well, and I remember the day when I was diagnosed and what my doctor said that we're going to have to do. And I said, listen, you can have all my fingers, you can have all my toes, you can have everything you want. I have 2 children, and as long as you keep me alive, I will do whatever it takes. And he goes, you're going to live. You are going to live. Now, I want you to live a stress-free life, which I don't know if he was joking or if he was serious. But he goes, I want you to live a stress-free life, which is, nobody needs a stress-free life. But if you keep up that attitude, you will be there. And that's it. The secret to happiness is just living in the moment, just, enjoying every day. Whether I'm stressed, whether financially there's a problem, whatever it is, it's all going to overpass. Everything is brought for a reason. It has to be a reason for everything. And me personally, this is my own personal, I think there's more that I'm supposed to be doing. So I think there's more. I haven't got there yet. I know what I would like it to be, but I think there's a reason that I am able to be the age that I am now and went through what I went through. There has to be.
What is the atmosphere in here? I mean, it's pretty loud.
Loud. This is very quiet. No, this is very quiet. This is quiet. Oh, you want loud? I'll see you guys on Saturday. And it's,
Saturday is loud.
Yeah, Saturdays and Sundays are very loud. And we have a good time. Football, we all dress up, bear stuff on Sundays. We get into all the spirits of everything. We've dressed for the holidays. Halloween, we will go in costumes. Christmas, we dress up with T-shirts and different things. We wear hats. We like to do everything, cheerful, and we like interact with the customers.
So it's a good time when you come in here. It's not just good food; it's a good time.
Yes. Yeah, we enjoy seeing each other.
Tell us about the food. What do you have?
Okay. So I will say this, the breakfast food, and we go out for breakfast a lot in my family. The food here is exceptional. It really is. Probably the best pancakes I've ever tasted in my life. Yeah, and I'm like, there's no pancake like it. The omelets are unbelievable. And all the food. We use very good, high quality food. People ask us all the time, where do I purchase that sausage you use? Oh my God. Yeah, all the manufacturer. Where do I purchase this? How can I make it? Why don't my eggs ever come out like your eggs? People ask that all the time.
Yes.
And nobody has ever been able to go home and say they've done it. Nobody. Our eggs go through like 3 processes. They start out, the only eggs, it's 100% eggs, and people find that hard to believe because it's so fluffy. But they start out in a blender, and which allows the air to get into them, and they blend them really well. And then they cook them in a skillet, and after they're done in the skillet, they put them in the oven to bake. So they rise. So they go through. So if you try it at home, I guarantee you it's not going to work. It's the same recipes they've been doing forever.
Do you know where the recipes came from?
No. Probably Mr. Mitchell. Probably Mr. Mitchell, yeah. The same. They make the eggs the same way. They make the pancakes the same way. They make the French toast. Everything the same way. We use good quality breads for French toast. Our eggs are regular fresh, from the cage free. They crack the eggs. A lot of people don't believe that. People will be like, what did you put in the eggs to get them? Nothing. We don't.
They're eggs.
They're regular eggs. We just make them, just cook them every day. We crack them every day. You want to go in the kitchen? You want to see my order sheet? I order all the eggs. I'll show you. It's regular eggs. So it's very important to me when I walk out of here every day, and you can ask my staff to tell you. I thank everyone because somebody's got to say thank you. You've got to say thank you to someone, no matter what it is. No matter what, I say thank you to everybody. I'll even be almost out the door and I'll say, oh, I didn't say thank you to the dishwashers, and I'll walk back. Because you have to. That's important. I don't want to be treated like a corporate person. I don't want them to feel that they're treated like that either. I had a customer come up to me yesterday. He goes, I did not take care of him. One of my servers, he's not here today. I have to tell you, he says, we've been here a couple times. We don't live here. We live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He goes, today we decided, let's get on the train. And he goes, it was the best decision we made. The service was impeccable. You guys were so friendly when we walked in. He goes, my wife and I made a promise we're going to try to get back at least once a month. Older couple. We're going to try to come once a month from Milwaukee. It's only a couple hour train ride. But he goes, but after today, we cannot stay away that long anymore.
What does that mean to you?
A lot. And I told my server, I said, you made them so happy. I said, they were so happy with you. I mean, it's just the way you've touched them.
What is the one thing that when people come here and they eat and they meet all of you and they experience this, when they leave, what do you want them to take away?
Wow, that was good. I can't wait to get back there again. And wasn't that a great experience? That was fun. That was more than just going out to eat. That was, we enjoyed that. We really thoroughly enjoyed it. You could stand here for one day. I cannot tell you how many people will tell the cashier or ask to see the manager or whatever, and will say that to us. This was amazing. I had so much of a good time. I enjoyed it. When it gets not so crowded in here, and it is 10 times the sound
Deafening.
of it. You can't even hear, yourself, but we kind of block it out of our heads. People are just meeting everyone, and they start talking, and this one now picks up this one's check, and this one becomes friends with this one, and they exchange phone numbers. They've never met each other before, or they just start talking about something, and then all of a sudden, everybody knows everybody. So people walk out the door and say, I've never been to a restaurant like that. You go to a restaurant, you're sitting by yourself, you're, with your other person or your family, and you're communicating. These people start communicating with each other. They start having conversations. They start to know each other. Just from sitting down and having breakfast and stuff like that.
It's like a big family.
It is, absolutely, 100%. And the customers too, not just the staff, but the customers too.
And if you're ever in the Chicago area, we highly recommend that you make Lou Mitchell's one of your stops. Ask for Audrey. All of the waitresses are fabulous. You will not be disappointed in the food. And I promise you, you can walk away friends with the folks from Lou Mitchell's. As always, we want to thank you for joining us for this week's edition of On the Road with Kelly and Bob. You can listen to On the Road with Kelly and Bob wherever you get your podcast. Or the easiest thing, download that free Odyssey app and you can listen anytime, anywhere.